Now on 5 Live, continuing our day of celebration, we join Josh Widdicombe for a Fighting Talk 1966 special.
Good morning. It's now time for our feature presentation, Fighting Talk, with your host, Josh Widdicombe.
Hello. Joining me on today's panel, we have 4 gentlemen. Let me just pause for them to light their cigarettes and their pipes. We are here to celebrate the 11 men of England and West Germany Association football teams as they compete in the 1966 World Championship Jules Rimet Cup at the Empire Stadium in Wembley. A mere 3 hours walk from our studio here at BBC Broadcasting House in London's fashionable West End. And should it all go well today against the Jerrys, I, for one, expect this to be the first of many World Cup wins of our great footballing nation. Don't worry, I won't be keeping this up for the whole show. I will be fired. Let's meet our panel for this Fighting Talk celebration of 1966 and the England World Cup win on this very day 50 years ago. Before we start, let's explain how the scores will sound today. For 1 point, we will hear this. For 2 points, we'll hear this, which won't get distracting. And for 3 points, the usual. Losing a point will sound like this. And let me tease the listener by saying we have 2 Bobbies and a Martin on this 1966 special today. First up, though, he's a man who would go on to commentate in how many World Cup finals, Barry?
10.
10?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, not the actual final. There's another fellow whose name I can forget.
Yeah, we don't.
I did one.
We don't talk about him. One World Cup final. Which one?
One World Cup final in 1994.
The best one.
No, it wasn't.
No,
it was
really wasn't.
0-0 and really quite boring and very hot.
Well, at least you're not holding it against him. Later in his career, he's reduced to guest hosting an episode of Fighting Talk, but otherwise it's been a glorious triumph for one of Britain's greatest sporting voices. Hello, Barry Davies. Do you recognise that music?
I do. That's the original tune for Match of the Day.
It is.
And it was changed over the, I was going to say not quite the dead body, but he said it. But we had a producer called Alec Weeks who was absolutely mortified when this was changed.
Oh.
What a success the new one was.
Yeah. What did he know? Next up, he's the West Ham supporting radio personality and flower child.
Yeah.
Martin Kelner, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks, Josh. Lovely to be here.
Yeah, pleased to be here.
Always older people, yeah. Lovely to
Are you the youngster on the panel today?
No, I'm not. Bob's slightly younger than me.
Oh, well, yeah. I fell for it. You look good for it.
Well, bless you.
It's all right.
You're looking good too.
Thank you very much. This has got weird early, hasn't it? But, you know, let's move on. Alongside him, military AWOL, who has just opened a car wash in King's Cross. How is it going to go for him? Welcome, Robert Bobby Mills.
First time ever the youngest person on the panel.
It's amazing, isn't it? How does it feel?
It's amazing. Although you did think Martin Kellner was younger than me.
Yeah, I'm very
flattered. That's because you're slim looking. But then again, a life-threatening illness will do that. It takes years off you.
Try it, Bob.
Yeah, one thing you can say is you were in fine fettle, Bob. Right, finally. A professional association footballer who, if this show was really being recorded in 1966, would have been introduced as a Coventry City youth team player who had not yet gone on to play for Coventry, Wolverhampton Wanderers, West Bromwich Albion, Bristol City, West Ham, Wolverhampton Wanderers again, Bristol Rovers and Hereford, and Arsenal, and manage Chelsea, Bristol Rovers, Coventry, Wimbledon, West Brom, Coventry again, Wales, Cardiff City, Cheltenham Town and Weymouth. Welcome, Bobby Gould. Can you remember all of that?
Oh yeah, definitely. And the wife had shares in Pickford's as well.
Okay, it's time to get going, and unsurprisingly, in a show dedicated to 1966, it's all about this.
And it's Her Majesty the Queen shaking hands at this moment with Bobby Moore. He collects the cup. Bobby Moore shaking hands with all the officials there in the front row. Holds the cup high. Hear the cheers in the background. Players coming up behind him. Every one of the England players. Bobby Moore just kissing the cup.
He wasn't very clear whether it was Bobby Moore or not, was he? That was the moment that Bobby Moore got to lift the World Cup.
Alan Clark, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, I think so.
That was the moment Bobby Moore got to lift the World Cup. But tell us about the 1966 World Cup final match between England and West Germany as you watched it on that day. We'll start with the youngest first.
Thank you. Well, we watched it on the telly, and it was a telly in our house. I don't think we'd had a telly in our house up to that point. We used to go and watch it at my nan's. But I think my dad had been to, correct me if I'm wrong, either Radio Rentals or it would have been Granada.
Yeah.
Because Granada, before they became a broadcaster, used to sell tellies out the back of a van.
Is that true? Wow.
Yeah, you could
Yeah.
rent. Yeah, you rented a telly off Granada with a slot in the back that took 2 shilling pieces first, and then they became 50 pence pieces many years later.
I'm middle class, I don't remember all that.
But
We had a proper
we had
telly.
that. But the thing that stands out to me from that day, because I was only 10. But what stands out to me is, firstly, the emptiness of the streets. There was no one out. There was no one in the streets at all, certainly where I was living at the time. And also, the pop. Because we used to get normally 2 bottles of pop on a Friday night from the Corona van. And we used to get lemonade and we used to get limeade.
already.
Dandelion burdock.
Yeah, well, on the Saturday, that's what we had. We had 6 bottles, and we had raspberry and dandelion and burdock. That's why I remember that it was. I knew something special was happening.
I don't
today.
know whether this whole
We used to-
show's going to be a prank on me. You're just all lying about what it was really like.
We used to live in a cardboard box.
Let's see how the World Cup finals lived on the other side of the tracks, Martin Kelner.
Yeah, well, my parents were away. This is how middle class we were. They'd gone to the Lake District for the weekend. Can you imagine that? World Cup weekend. They went to the Lake District. It was the first time I'd been allowed to be. I was 16. The first time I'd been allowed to be alone in the house.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So my parents were away. I invited the girl from the next street to come and watch the World Cup with me, which was, I won't say a name. I'll call her Linda Swanson, although her real name was Diane Baker. But anyway, I invited her to come and watch the World Cup. And it was one of those things that I'd never been alone with a girl until then. It was a long time ago. I went to a boys' school. I'd never been alone with a girl. So in the second half, I sort of lost focus because it was
On the girl or the match?
On the match. It was sort of, as it went into extra time, sort of, can I put my arm round her now, and will there be any touching outside the clothes as it was in those days? And you sort of...
Did you cross the line? That's the question.
Well, I would have loved it. I would have loved to have crossed the line. I would have loved to have crossed the line. There wasn't an Azerbaijani linesman there to help. No, I would have loved that, but I was cruelly rebuffed, which was unusual then. It was a new experience for me, but since then, of course, I've got very experienced with that. It's happened.
Watching football.
Watching football, yes.
Bobby Gould.
Well, it actually started on a Tuesday, the Saturday game coming up, and I went in to see Jimmy Hill at Highfield Road. He said, "Young man, what are you doing in?" I says, "Well, coming for a new contract, JH. I've done really well this season." He said, "Oh, don't bother about it." He says, "We'd like to go to the cup final." I says, "Yes, please." He says, "There's 2 free tickets."
Oh, wow.
2 free tickets for the World Cup final. So, my wife and I wasn't married then, was I? I've been saying that for the last 49 years. This young lady that I was going out with, Marjorie Page, her mother had hairdressing businesses in Coventry. And I said to Marge, I says, "We've got 2 tickets for the World Cup final." She says, "Well, I'll ask my mother." And her mother declined. She says, "No, you can't go until 1 o'clock at lunchtime."
You were turned down to go to one?
She turned me down, my future mother-in-law did, to go to Wembley. Anyway, so 1 o'clock, I'm outside the salon. She comes down, rushing down. I've got sandwiches, I've got everything. And she jumped in the car, and it was a Singer Chamois. Can you remember that? A Singer Chamois? Yeah. A little car, Barry. You would remember it.
I thought that was for cleaning windows, the Chamois.
No, it's a French car. It had the engine in the back. Anyway, so we got in. We got onto the M1, and we just went. There was no cars anywhere. We got to Wembley, and we stood behind the goal, and we watched the World Cup.
Where did you park? I bet you parked outside the ground.
Spot on. We drove straight up, and there was this one little place for my little Singer Chamois to go in.
Barry Davies.
Well, my position was such that I kept very quiet all the way through the match. For the very good reason I was standing behind a gentleman called Hugh Johns, who was commentating for ITV. And he and Dave Bowen, the Welsh international and Arsenal player, that was the team. And of course I didn't want to, my reaction just didn't want to get in their way, at least that's how I felt about it. So I was on the spot, but very cool, calm and collected.
A way you kept for the rest of your career, Barry?
Not always.
Not always. Now, time for listener question. Let's call up Sebastian Short to see what he'd like to ask the panel.
Don't forget to press button B.
Have you got your money ready?
What is it, a penny or sixpence?
Fourpence.
Fourpence.
4 old pennies.
Hello, Sebastian.
Hello, Josh. How are you?
Very good. It's a very good line, isn't it? It's a very good line.
It's not a party line, then.
Yeah, someone come on in a minute.
Yeah, get off the phone.
I want to speak to my sister.
How are you, Sebastian?
I'm very well, thank you.
And who are you supporting in today's final? England or West
England,
Germany?
of course.
England, good.
Yes.
I wouldn't want to have to hang up on you after I dialed for such a long time. Now, what is your question for the panel?
My question is, everybody knows the Jimmy Greaves story about the final, but what other player can consider themselves mightily unlucky not to have been in the starting lineup?
What player could consider themselves mighty unlucky not to be in the starting lineup? We'll start with you, Bobby.
The one for me was Terry Payne. England had never played international football without wingers before, and Sir Alf Ramsey was creating something very, very different. He had Alan Ball, Martin Peters, Mike Flowing, Jeff Hurst up front. They had Bobby Charlton playing just behind Jeff Hurst, and he could go anywhere he wanted. And I just felt for Terry Payne, because English football up until now had never gone without width. And they'd always used great wingers, Stanley Matthews going past all those wonderful players, and Tom Finney and everything else. I believe that Terry Payne, he was sharp, he was a bit nasty as well, and he got a streak in him and to deliver crosses, but it wasn't to be. They were going to rely on the fullbacks, Wilson and Cohen, making advance down the outside. Terry Payne.
Mine, Kelner.
I'm going for the Wolverhampton Wanderers wizard. We used to call footballers wizards in those days.
And any wizards these days?
No wizards these days. It's a shout only in Harry Potter. But yeah, Ron Flowers played for Wolves. It was stylish centre half. Lost his place to Jack Charlton because Sir Alf reckoned we should have an enforcer in there. Jack Charlton, big lanky guy with his black book. He just tried to take revenge on people. He was, and Ron Flowers was the more stylish player, so I think Ron was unlucky to miss out on it.
Barry Davies.
I have to be quite truthful and say I don't think anybody was unlucky. I think they saw how the team had gelled, and Alf Ramsey's whole attitude was, it may not be the best 11 players, but it will be the best team. Yep. The only person I could put forward would be Jimmy Armfield, who played in '62, and there wasn't too much between him and George Cohen, but George got the nod. He was the Londoner, and it was at Wembley, so
Yeah. Bob Mills.
So I was going to go slightly left field, if I may, just for a minute, and say there were two names that most people would never even heard of. And they're Peter Swan and Tony Kay. Mm-hmm. And Peter Swan would have been in that team. He would have been alongside Bobby Moore. Jimmy Greaves said that he was the finest physique he'd ever seen, the finest passer and header of a ball, and that him and Bobby Moore would have been in the centre of the England defence in '66, in '70, and probably through till '74 they could have gone on. And Tony Kay, at the time, Everton had paid 60 grand for him. He was the most expensive player. Until the next day when they signed Alan Ball. But they both made one stupid, idiotic mistake in their careers. When they got involved, someone said, if you put 50 quid on your team and you don't win, and they've been consigned to they've been airbrushed out of history. But the guy who grasped them all up was a guy called Gould. Gould.
Yeah, was it?
He was the one who organised it.
Excuse me, can we have a solicitor?
It was a different spell. Gauld, I believe, not Bobby.
Let's go back to the telephone. Sebastian, we're still going on with charade of the telephone. Who would you like to give the 2 bonus points to, Sebastian?
I have to give it to Barry because it's the answer that I would have given almost word for word.
2 points to Barry. Almost word for word. Right, following on nicely from that, next up, it's an opportunity to put yourself in the shoes of Sir Alf Ramsey. Sorry, I mean Alf Ramsey. It's the morning of the 30th of July, 1966. So, you're the England manager with the expectations of the nation on your shoulder. So, without the benefit of hindsight, who is the first name on your team sheet? Barry Davies.
Oh, no question, Bobby Moore.
Absolutely.
Captain, stylish. He was sometimes a problem for Alf because he grew in personality. You know, he was the David Beckham of that particular age, but he was a fine captain. Not the quickest player on 2 legs, but in his brain, he was twice as quick as anybody else.
I spent a whole career trying to kick Bobby Moore, and I never got anywhere near him. I'll give him credit for that.
I mean, there's a lot of teams you tried it for as well, isn't there, Bobby? Who'd be your first name on the team sheet, Bobby?
Gordon Banks. As a manager, that's the most important part for me. Gordon was a fantastic goalkeeper, great athleticism, and he was somebody to behold. He went on to make the save in Brazil, which was quite stunning save, and I actually watched it in colour at that moment when it all happened, and no doubt Gordon Banks, number 1.
Martin Kelner.
Well, I'm going to say Alan Ball. I've said in the past here that you never win anything without a ginger-haired player in the team. So I was Alan Ball. Also, he was a box-to-box player before anybody had heard of box-to-box. It meant something entirely different in those days. And he also had a good engine. When nobody ever talked about footballers having a good engine, was also the first player to wear white boots. Hadn't started wearing white boots. He wore white boots when he was at Everton, I think, and also fluorescent boots for a while.
So it's his fault?
It's his fault that we have the multicoloured boots. I've always spoken highly of Alan Ball, and of course he spoke highly of everybody. So I'm going to say Alan Ball.
Bob Mills.
I suspect that Barry's got the right answer is Bobby Moore. I once sat next to my Uncle Ray, who watched football, he's dead now, bless him, but he'd been watching it for many years, and we were watching a commentator who thought he knew about football said, and the thing is about defenders, they don't like players running at them. And I remember my uncle saying, Bobby Moore never seemed to mind. But I would say, so if not him, I'd say, do you know what? If it was me, and I'd put Nobby Stiles down, because I was thinking tomorrow at some point it's going to get ugly. It's going to get a little bit spiteful, and you need someone you can rely on in the trenches.
Next is to Highbury Football Stadium, the world-famous home of the Arsenal. But it's heavyweight boxing and this.
Clay tries to come back to the left foot, and Clay is down! Cooper has downed him! Oh, a beautiful punch there! And as the bell goes, Clay had just been dropped by a beautiful punch from Cooper.
Yeah, that's right. Not only was 1966 the year that England lifted the World Cup, but also the year that national hero Henry Cooper floored Cassius Clay. And that inevitably leads me to ask, what was the third best sporting moment of 1966? We'll start with you, Martin.
Yeah, well, the one that everybody would say is 1966 was the year that Swinton came second in the Rugby League Championship.
Well, that's the obvious one,
That's
yes.
the obvious one, I know. As you'll know, in those days...
Barry's got his head in his hands, knowing that he's got that answer as well.
Yeah, well, I'll grab that first. In those days, as everybody knows, Rugby League was just one big championship. It hadn't split into 1 and 2 divisions, obviously, as you know.
Obviously, yeah.
Obviously. So Swinton, in the round of 16, we used to have a round of 16. We played Featherstone and beat them 43-2 at home. Second round, well deserved. It was. Quarterfinals, we got beaten by Halifax 31-2. But it was still a great achievement, and I think most. And also, we won the Eurovision Song Contest that year. Not Swinton. But
who sang?
Sandy Shore. Sandy Shore. Puppet on a String. That was
string.
Barry Davies.
I suppose I'd have to go for what became known as the Commonwealth Games. It was the British Empire and Commonwealth Games at the time in Kingston, Jamaica. Looking back at the records, you'll find the name Lynn Davies won the long jump, as he had 2 years previously in Tokyo at the Olympics. And there's another fellow, a fellow called David Hemery. He won the 120 yards high hurdles. And the same man in Mexico City in 1968 produced the performance world record gold medal in the 400 metres. Wonderful sporting performance.
So he did the 120-yard high
120 high hurdle.
And
yards
then he did the 400 metres.
400 metres was 2 years later.
Yeah.
He may have run in the 4 then, but I don't think so. Didn't win it anyway.
Have you ever tried to jump over a hurdle 120 yards high? It's impossible.
Bobby Gould.
I'm going for somebody with 4 legs. And that was Arkle. Cheltenham Gold Cup. Cheltenham 1964, 65 and 1966. Interested in horses, racing horses, because my granddad was a miner, Scottish miner, come down to Coventry. Every Saturday he used to have me and look after me, and he always had a 6p each way Yankee. And I just loved horses from that moment on, my granddad. Actually, I had the opportunity of winning with 3, Homemaker, Solicitude and Petit Fouté, but I'd only got the left hoof. That's all I owned. But those 3 horses actually won. But for me, Arkle.
Do you know how much a Tanner Yankee would have cost? 5 and 6pence.
5 and 6pence.
Well, that's a lot of money, isn't it?
A lot of money in those days. 5 and a Tanner.
5 and 6. No one had that kind of money. Throw about
a Tanner Yankee was 5 and 6.
In illegal bookmakers.
Yes. Bob Mills.
Well, I'm going to go for the other big match at Wembley that season, and sadly it gets forgotten too often. It was one of the greatest FA Cup finals ever, wasn't it? Was Everton?
Was it the one with the guy running on the pitch?
No, it was Everton Sheffield.
I've just got a cough there.
Everton Sheffield Wednesday. It was 2-0 and then it was 3-2. And one of the great footnotes of this in broadcasting is that Mike Trebilcock is always known as the Cornishman, first Cornishman. People forget he was also he was Everton's first ever black player. He was the first black player to score in it, because people forget that Mike Trebilcock was of Guyana descent.
Right.
But he's still always referred to as the Cornishman. That's wow.
That's because they had a big debate about how to pronounce his name, because for a while he was Trebilcock.
Trebilcock, Trebilcock.
Let's move on to the scores. And they stand at Martin 14, Bobby 15, Bob 16. But in the lead, it's Barry Davies on 18. Right. It's back to the World Cup for a quick fire question. Needless to say, the final is the match we all tend to talk about. But what were the other matches of the tournament that stood out for you as a bit special? We'll start with you, Barry.
Too many, really. But I think if there was one match that I enjoyed possibly more than the final, because there wasn't quite the tension that the final had, and that was the semi-final. Semi-finals are usually awful, but England against Portugal was a lovely match, and it had a very interesting ending when Jack Charlton handled the ball. Gordon Banks, probably for the first time in his life, had failed to take a cross. And Jack put up his hand. He'd been sent off, of course, these days. And Torres scored. And it was all that nasty 5 minutes. And there were a couple of good chances for Portugal. Came through. But the quality of the football was good. And nobody was kicking anybody. So you wouldn't have got you in, Bobby.
Bobby Gould.
That Bobby. Not that Bobby.
I've gone for Portugal 5, North Korea 3. As a kid, you get very excited about goal scorers, and 3-0 up. They cannot lose. They cannot lose. But then 5-3. And what you want is goals. And they weren't playing the ball sideways or playing crab football in those days. They were going for it, and I just thought it was a magnificent game. And I always went for the underdog.
Bob Mills.
That's crab football, by the way, where they go side to side. Funnily enough, the game that I remember just as being quite unusual was an early game, Uruguay against France, which Uruguay won. They won that game. And they played, I'd never seen it before, because I was at Seaton Road watching Chester, and you didn't see a lot of football on television, certainly not a lot of European football. But they were playing something now which I now identify as being almost ticky-tacky. They were getting the ball up to the area, but then passing it round until someone had a better chance than they had. And I'd never seen that before. And so Uruguay against France, they went completely mental then when they got through the rounds. They had a man sent off. They had a goal, what should have been a goal, but Schnellinger caught the ball, didn't just pat it away. Actually, the West German defender caught it and pushed it away. And I think they got beat 4 or 5-0 by the Germans, as we called them.
Martin Kelner.
I'm going to England-Mexico in the group stages, because that was when we started to believe. The first match, England-Uruguay, was 0-0, very dull match. Sir Alf had promised us, or Alf as he was then, had promised us we were going to win the World Cup. He said, we will win the World Cup. Watched the match 0-0 against Uruguay. I thought, no, we're not going to win the World Cup. But then, when we played Mexico in the group stages, Charlton scored that absolutely fantastic goal he ran onto. It was a brilliant goal, and Roger Hunt scored the other one. So we beat Mexico 2-0. And at that point, we thought, wow, there really is a chance we might win the World Cup. And it was a night match. It was at Wembley, very exciting. So that was the one for me, England-Mexico 2-0.
So nostalgic, this show. Right now, it's not all about the football. We have to pause to find out about the military coup in Nigeria, the latest from Vietnam, and find out how Bob Dylan is after his motorcycle accident near Woodstock. We're back with more from 1966 after the news, county cricket scoreboard and shipping forecast.
On digital, online, smartphone and tablet. This is BBC 5 Live.
With the BBC News on 5 Live from 2016, I'm Jill Mackenzie. Sir Vince Cable says Theresa May had objections to plans for a new nuclear reactor at Hinkley Point while the coalition was in power. The former Lib Dem business secretary says she was worried about a gung-ho approach to Chinese investment. A final decision on the project's been delayed until the autumn. The chair of the Transport Select Committee, Labour's Louise Ellman, has told 5 Live she wants reassurance from Number 10 that the Prime Minister is committed to the HS2 rail project. 2 brothers have been arrested in Belgium on suspicion of planning an attack. Police raided several houses in the cities of Mons and Liège last night, but didn't find weapons or explosives. Pregnant women are being advised to postpone non-essential trips to Florida because of concerns about the Zika virus. The state's confirmed its first cases of transmission from mosquitoes. And government figures suggest the number of plastic bags used in England is on course to drop by around 6 billion this year. A 5p charge was introduced for single-use bags in October, following similar decisions in Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland. Sport now, here's Dom Busby.
Thank you very much. Jamie Donaldson is the highest-ranked British player at the US PGA Championship, which resumes this afternoon. He's 4 under par. That's 5 shots off leaders Jimmy Walker and Robert Streb. Let's head to Woburn now. The Women's British Open continues. Luke Ashmead is there for us.
Careers Miriam Lee is the player to catch on day 3 here at Woburn. Lee's round of 71 yesterday means she'll start today 11 under, a shot in front of China's Shanshan Feng and Thailand's Araya Jatanagarn. 2009 Open winner Katrina Matthew carded an impressive 65 yesterday. She'll tee off 2 shots back at 9 under, while home favourite Charlie Hull is in a decent position to mount a charge. Hull is 5 under par, gets her 3rd round started at 145.
Thank you, Luke. Coverage on BBC 2 from 2 o'clock. Wakefield and Warrington meet in this afternoon's Challenge Cup semi-final, with the winner heading to Wembley to play Hull FC. Wakefield's Ben Jones-Bishop says the arrival of Chris Chester as coach has made a big difference.
We're getting in a cycle of getting behind in games and chasing games, and he sort of put some confidence in us. There was a bit of a lift in training, a bit of a inter-squad competition, losers paid for lunch and things like that. Just get a bit of camaraderie going, and once we got that first win, I said the confidence took over and been a good season for us.
Coverage in 5 Live Sport from midday. Nico Rosberg has finished fastest in 3rd practice again for the German Grand Prix, with qualifying to come at 1 o'clock. Jack Nicholls is at Hockenheim.
Yes, and it was a very good performance again from Nico Rosberg, who really looks to have the edge over his Mercedes teammate at his home Grand Prix. But the amount of times over the course of the last, entirely Lewis Hamilton's career, where he's looked like he's not quite on the pace, and then when qualifying comes down to it, he will pull it out of the bag. So it's going to be a fascinating battle for pole position. You can overtake here, so it's not quite as vital as it was in Hungary a week ago, but nevertheless, the Rosberg versus Hamilton battle for the top of the championship will continue this afternoon.
Thank you, Jack. Commentary on 5 Live Sports Extra of qualifying as well. Wolves have announced that the former Inter and Italy goalkeeper Walter Zenga has become their new head coach, and Ali Carter has reached the final of the World Open Snooker in China.
This is BBC 5 Live on digital, online, smartphone and tablet.
Let's get a quick weather check now. It's not a bad day, I think, for most of us. Sunshine and showers on the way. The best of the weather will be across the south, although 1 or 2 showers possible here too. 22 degrees in London today. Further north, it'll be closer to 17. And tomorrow, further sunshine and showers. Thomas Schaffenacker, 5 Live weather.
5 Live Sport.
No longer merely the beautiful bridesmaid. Kath Granger has made it to the altar, the Olympic golden altar. Well done, Kath. Great Britain are heading Australia. Great Britain are going to do it. Arms are aloft everywhere around Eton Dorney. There they go. Well done, boys. You have delivered yet again. Well done, Stanning and Glover. They crossed the line first. Fantastic. Stanning and Glover have made history.
The Olympics, where legends are made. Coming soon to BBC Radio 5 Live. We now rejoin our feature presentation, Fighting Talk.
Welcome back to our 1966 Fighting Talk special. It's the very day 50 is on that England beat West Germany. And we have 4 heroes from 1966 on show today. Bobby Mills, Bobby Charlton Gould, Martin Peters Kelner and Barry Nobby Davies. But what are the scores? They are very excitingly poised. Martin and Bobby on 23, Bob on 25 and Barry on 27. Kelner genuinely shook with anger when he heard those scores.
Wow. Outrageous.
What's the elbows? Come on.
Now we kick off the second half with the BBC remit to entertain and educate at the forefront of our minds. So, for the benefit of younger viewers, describe a 1966 hero in terms of a contemporary player or players, and what would be their value in today's transfer market. Start with someone who's dabbled in the transfer market quite a bit. Bobby Gould.
The gentleman,
familiar with transfers, Bobby?
Just a few. Yeah, just a few. Enjoyed it. Made some good signings. Although I say it myself. My choice would be Bobby Charlton. He covers Kane, Shearer, Rooney and Giggs. He can do all those jobs. The only thing that Bobby Charlton could never do was head the ball. And other than that, the power that he had, Kane could come in, hit 25-yard shots. He could do that with his right foot and his left foot.
How much are you paying for him?
How much will I pay for Bobby Charlton now?
Yeah.
Pogba's 100. I'd go 120 million.
120 million. Shocked look on Barry Davies's face. Who are you going for, Barry?
I know we've gone out of all proportion, but gosh.
Barry, it has. You know, yeah, we know it has.
Yes, I don't understand. I can remember when the first £1 million player came round, and there've been many bought for millions since. It weren't worth the value.
Are you referring to my 90,000 when I went to Arsenal?
No, you're right. You could pay the world for Bobby Charlton, but you could also pay the world for Bobby Moore. I think anybody who wants to know about Bobby Moore, can I give a plug to the film on his life and career? He sadly died quite a young man from cancer. Bobby Moore, his reading of the game was absolutely brilliant, and I think he could have done anything. He wasn't as mercurial in a way. Maybe that's not the right word for Bobby Charlton. Perhaps it's not. But I mean, Bobby did spectacular things. Bobby Moore's job was to make sure that things didn't go wrong. And I can't think of any man in the side who at the end of the match would have looked up and seen the man and given him an opportunity to score a hat-trick.
And who would be your modern version of Bobby Moore, Barry?
Crikey, I tell you what, he wasn't playing in Paris in 2016, that's for sure.
John Stones, mate. Martin Kelner.
John Stones, well, he would have been in my side, John Stones, I have to say. But that's another thing.
Well, I'm going for Jimmy Greaves, the face of Bovril.
Oh, yeah.
He was the face of Bovril. I mean, Jimmy Greaves, I'm comparing him to Gary Lineker, because both sort of very commercially acceptable, if you like. Jimmy Greaves probably advertised hair oil as well. We used to have hair oil. So I compare him to Gary Lineker with his crisps and everything. Also, both goal hangers, both played abroad, both played for Spurs, and both went into broadcasting. Gary Lineker, obviously, fine presenter on the BBC, and Jimmy Greaves made a career out of saying, "Well, it's a funny old game." So those are the two. How
much are you paying for him, Martin?
Jimmy Greaves, well, proven goal scorer, I would say in 1966 values, £100,025, 14 and 7 pence.
And today's?
Today's, I would say about, well, probably another 100 million, because, great goal scorer.
Bob Mills.
If I was the boss today at Man City or Man United, who are the two teams that seem to go for that, you think you want a winger, you want someone you can get the ball to and he'll keep it and get you out of trouble and put passes in and he'll run and run and run up and down the line all the time. And if you've got 120 minutes, you'd certainly pay it for Alan Ball now, without a doubt.
Yes. Especially for his performance in the last extra time of the World Cup final, because he was the star of the show then.
Yeah.
Can I just say something about Jimmy Greaves?
Yes, of course.
It's said that Billy Nicholson once said to his captain, Billy Nicholson, the manager of Tottenham Hotspur, said to Danny Blanchflower, who was his captain, all I can do. He doesn't do anything else except score goals.
Right, one of the enduring images of the World Cup victory has to be Nobby Stiles dancing around on the pitch with his false teeth in his hand, recreated gloriously by Bobby Gould in the room.
He took his teeth out as well.
Now I want my solicitor.
Again.
This can't happen like this.
It's not an image you're likely to see these days. Well, we just did. So, a good opportunity to ask, what were the things about sport that were better back in the day? And what were the things that were worse? I imagine this might be the longest round of fighting talk we ever play. We should start with Bobby Gould, shouldn't we?
It's got to be a proper football. I mean a leather football, not
leather casey with legs.
Yeah, not one of these beach balls, Bob, that bounces everywhere and unexpectedly, and every time you shoot, it flies over the crossbar. And it's so light. It's a plastic ball, and it's played with a real leather ball. That's why the Brazilians were so good. A leather ball went over to Brasilia in the jungle, collected all this water, and they couldn't kick the ball in the air, so they kept it on the floor. It became a new identity. It really, really did.
I'm not sure that is how history works.
More or less. What's the great quote? Was it Lawton or Lofthouse that Mortensen said, can I just say something half time? Every time I'll cross the ball with you, that's fine. Every time Matthews crosses the ball to you, you say thank you. You give him a little nod. And Lawton on Lofthouse said, yeah, that's because he crosses it, laces out.
But just following on from that, the second thing is the money. I would love to be earning £300,000 per week.
You're on Fighting Talk. Have you not seen it? Bob Mills.
Okay, I'll tell you what I love. That's now, I prefer now, the football. The football's much better. I'm sorry, but it is. Bless your hearts. Matthews. Stanley Matthews could skin them, the fullbacks. Yeah, they were all about 4 stone overweight. and just next time you watch the Matthews Cup final, watch the goalkeeper, who's absolute rubbish. But the football is much better. They're much fitter, and it's a much better game now. It's much more exciting.
What about the goals? There's less goals.
Yes, I know there's less goals.
Not so many goals scored these days.
Yes, I appreciate
What is
that.
the game about?
Yes.
Don't stop. Keep saying yes. Give me an answer. Give me an answer, Robert.
But the levels of skill that you can see now are so much better than they were. And listen, I grew up watching blokes sliding 40 yards to make a late tackle. And started knocking people up in the air. But people have the chance to play now. What I miss, and I miss terribly, and I don't want to sound at all paranoid, is commentators that just tell me what's happening on the pitch without giving me their unasked for opinions about. I don't believe he's even played the game. I don't think he should even be in the team. Why has he picked him? It's none of your business. Just tell me what's happening. Just pretend you're on the radio and tell me what's happening. I don't care what you think.
We agree, because you know what? I turn the sound down all the time. Just turn the sound down.
On the radio?
Yeah.
No, on the telly.
And the text line is open if you want to speculate over who Bob was doing an impression of. Barry Davies. No, that's not my guess.
I'm speechless.
We love you, Barry.
The best thing about today, I want to pay tribute to the groundsman. Seriously, the football pitches now are so much better than they were. The thing I miss, I'm sure Bobby Gould will agree with this, is football used to be the game of the man in the street. You could bump into a footballer on the top deck of a bus. And now they are so far removed from the public, and too many of the grounds are like Fort Knox. You can't get in to talk to anybody. And it used to be more fun from a journalistic and television commentator point of view, that you could get to talk to people.
Could I just clarify that? When I was on the ground staff at Coventry 1962-63, we used to have to stay behind the evening games and roll the pitch. Yeah. And they left one pylon on, one of the floodlights, and we were there till 11 o'clock, and blame us for the bad pitches, Barry.
Martin.
Tell you what's way better nowadays, and that is toilets. In 1966, if you were in a football ground, you said, "Where's the toilet?" They'd say, "You're in it." But, now at least you have decent toilet facilities. What I miss from those days is rattles, which was a great way to annoy your parents. You could, you could absolutely drive your parents mad. They're big rattles with the wooden teeth. Fantastic fun.
Offensive weapons now, you can't get taken.
No, you can't. You're not allowed to.
No, not allowed to take them in.
I've not been able to use my rattle at a match for 20 years. It's just shocking.
Doesn't stop you trying, though, every week.
Every week.
Right, now it's time for a bit of public service broadcasting and an opportunity to quit the Fighting Talk listeners with some valuable 1966 trivia to help them get through the day. I'll kick off and tell you that the match ball now resides in the National Football Museum and has been desecrated after some fool decided it would be a good idea to let Uri Geller sign it in 1996 as a good luck spell to help boost England's chances in the Euros that year. So, what trivia do you have for the big day? Barry Davies.
Trivia for the big day. I mean, looking back on it, do you think they should have stopped a game being played on a Friday because there was the dog race meeting at Wembley?
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's right.
That's why it was
the match
Uruguay
France.
The Uruguay France was played at the only other London club to host the game. You know what that was, don't you, Josh?
Arsenal.
No.
Leighton Orient.
No, you never get it.
I'll never get it. Chelsea.
White City. The only other London venue was White City, and it was because it was a Friday night, and Wembley said, and I don't believe you get a World Cup the month before, do you? You have a couple of years. Now, Friday, no, greyhounds.
That's amazing.
You're joking, mate. We'll have a riot on our hand here. The greyhound, mate. No. So they had to play it at White City.
Martin Kelner.
Well, I'll just give you an idea.
So, what club used White City?
No one.
No.
It was
just an athletics track.
It was
where
built.
Christopher Chataway beat Vladimir Kutz on one of the great 5,000-metre runs. Sorry,
This is the greatest round we've ever done. We've still got 3 answers to go. Martin.
So here is a fantastic illustration of how little hoo-ha there was about England winning the World Cup. 66, of course, we won the World Cup, and we thought, we're going to win loads of World Cups, don't need to make a fuss about this. And I'll tell you how I know that. I got hold of the Radio Times from the actual day of the World Cup final. At 5:15 that day, scheduled to play on the BBC, was County Hospital, a Laurel and Hardy short. Very good Laurel and Hardy short. It's the one where Stan comes to visit Ollie in hospital and brings him hard-boiled eggs and nuts. It's a brilliant short, but the thought of England, thought of a World Cup final, and then you're allowing, 5:15, less than half an hour for the presentation of the trophy, the interviews, the hoo-ha. And I'll tell you what, the night before the World Cup final, massive game, there was a half-hour preview. That was it. There was an hour-long circus from Great Yarmouth. That was what was on the BBC on the Friday night before the World Cup. On ITV, it was Robin Hood riding through the Glen. Robin Hood with his merry men.
Robin Hood. Robin Hood.
Josh, don't go red.
Can we say that came out of left field?
Now we move on to a third answer of this round, unbelievably.
What's this trivia about the day? We're talking to you now, of course. It's the dim and distant future, 2016. We have our second female Prime Minister, who, as we speak, is bringing more and more women into the cabinet, which is a great example of the way that it's nowhere near complete, but of the way that the integration has happened and this terrible discrimination against one sex in favour of another has gone on in this country far too long, and we're getting the better of it. After they'd won the World Cup, as Mary pointed out, they had a lovely dinner at the Royal Garden Hotel, all their players. Their wives were upstairs in another room.
Yeah, that's true.
Not allowed in there. Well, no room. We got members of the committee that we can't have because they tend to chatter.
Yeah. Bobby Gould, another one who tends to chat.
I was going on to Sir Alf Ramsey there. On the Thursday, I think it was a Thursday or a Wednesday prior to England's first game, Alf Ramsey phoned his next door neighbour up and said, "Could you bring our dog up?" He said, "What do you mean, bring the dog up?" He says, "I'd like you to bring the dog up to the park next to the hotel where we're staying." So Alf got hold of Nobby Stiles and took him out of his room and took him down into the park where this gentleman gave the dog to Alf Ramsey, and Alf Ramsey took the lead off the dog and said, threw the stick, and the dog went over to the stick, picked it up and brought it back to Sir Alf. He did it again, did it 3 times. And on the third one, Sir Alf turned around to Nobby. He says, "Look, Nobby," he says, "that's what you've got to do with our football. You've got to win it off anybody else, and as soon as you do that, you give it to Bobby Charlton because he's a better player than you."
The scores are Bobby, well, you don't do bad, but you are last, 43. Bobby 43. Martin 44. Bob 46. Barry still in the lead on 48. Will he slip up in the next round? Well, it is a commentary round, so it would be awkward. As we near the end, we couldn't really have a show about the 1966 World Cup final without this.
And here comes Hurst. He's got some people are on the pitch. They think it's all over. It is now. It's 4.
Yes, perhaps the most iconic piece of commentary ever until now. Because the one word round this week is one piece of commentary round as you attempt to better the words of Kenneth Wolstenholme. As you put your spin on the final moments of the match. Just to be authentic, we have a BBC lip mic for you to commentate into, and it will sound no different, but we will enjoy the look of it in the studio. So, we're going to go in turn, round the table.
Can I start that end?
What, start with Barry Davies? I think you've got to headline this with Barry Davies.
Can we just establish whether we're talking about radio or television?
Good point.
Good point. Yeah, I think we're going to go with well, we're on the radio. We're going to go with radio.
Yeah.
Right.
And cue Bobby.
And it's Germany with the ball in, right down the right side, crossed into the box and headed away. No, it's chested down, goes to the left back, plays it, walking football for England, taking it very. Referee looks at the watch. There he goes, he's looking at the watch, everybody's looking at the watch. Referee, he's following the ball. The ball is locked down the left-hand side. Hurst picks it up, chests it down, goes through with his left foot, runs on. German play trying to catch him, hits it wide and right to the keeper's right. And it's not only won the game, it's won the World Cup. Alan Ball, the first to join him. Jeff Hurst there acknowledges a goal and a wonderful strike. Great goal for England.
Very good.
Good.
Very good. I thought you really grew into that as it went on, Bobby. Cue Bob Mills.
And it's at walking pace now. It's very slow. England are just counting down. The referee's checked his watch. And Bobby Moore's got the ball. He's going to put this in Rowe's edge, surely. And no, he's played a lovely ball through. And Hurst on it, and Hurst all on his own. And Hurst bearing down on the goal, but some people are on the pitch. So the match will be stopped because that's against the regulations. A crowd invasion is going to cost England dear. I can see them being banned from the next World Cup tournament. This is incredible. This is a debacle. What's happening on the pitch? Hurst has scored, but it won't count. And also, there's been a security announcement. Police have found a Singer chamois outside the stadium.
Brilliant! Oh, that's really nice.
That's what they've done. They've stopped the game now.
Okay, cue commentator Martin Kelner.
Well, one of the Germans has the ball, but who cares, frankly, which German this is? He's just one of them. But now, there's Bobby Moore, the blonde West Ham bombshell. Passes it up to another fine West Ham player, that's Jeff Hurst. West Ham are winning this. Some people are on the pitch. They're probably looking for a toilet. It's outrageous, the lack of toilet facility here at Wembley. The match continues, though, despite that, and West Ham's Jeff Hurst has the ball. West Ham's Jeff Hurst, a typically brilliant shot, and West Ham have won the World Cup.
Are you ready, Barry?
Yes.
Cue Barry Davies.
So Germany still not out of this. Moments to go. One or two in the crowd already want the whistle, but it comes down to Bobby Moore for England. He now has possession. The referee looks at his watch as Bobby Moore, they're screaming at him, but Jack Charlton saying get rid of it, but he doesn't. He's put a wonderful ball through to Jeff Hurst. He's got nobody to beat. The goalkeeper, Tarkowski, comes to meet him. Oh, what a cracking goal. The first ever hat-trick in a World Cup final, and England now, without any question, are winners of the World Cup of 1966.
You never lose it. Right, it's to the any other business round. It's 1966. What has been winding you up or raising your passions away from sport in this year? Bob Mills.
A rumour that's become something slightly more than a rumour, because it's actually a white paper's been published. Callaghan, not Ian, but James Callaghan, has put a white paper before Parliament, which has started the balls rolling, so that in 5 years' time, we're going to introduce decimalisation, which I thought was the death knell for this country. Threepence, sixpence, 2 and a kick, 5 bob, a 10 bob, no, a 10 bob. You could open your birthday card and a note would fall out. Those days are numbered in units of 10.
Bobby Gould.
Well, my biggest gripe was I was a professional footballer and I was on £18 a week, and I just felt that Jimmy Hill, JH, should have made me a better offer than that. I took discussion with my fiancée and I decided that I might become a hairdresser, and so I went into the shop that my future mother-in-law owned and started to become a ladies' hairdresser. I tell you what, I'm glad Jimmy Hill didn't pay me that money, because I had a wonderful career after it.
Marvellous. Barry Davies.
I don't think I have anything specific to that year, but things that produce feelings of passion in my life, apart from one's married life and children, etc., etc. I mean, the opportunity of seeing the Grand Canyon at sunset, going to see the Victoria Falls. Those are moments which, away from the world of sport and away from the world in a way, are what do. If I had any hair, it would grow on the back of my neck.
Martin Kelner.
I've been hearing about this Europe thing. What it is France and Germany and the Benelux countries, they're all getting together, and it's going to be like one single market, and you have access to it, and there's free movement of people. And I think it's a brilliant idea, and I reckon that, we ought to be in it.
It'll never last.
You say that.
Let's have a look at the final scores. The final scores are as follows. Bobby Gould, 45. Martin Kelner, 47. Bob Mills, 49. In the lead. Well, winning. Barry Davies on 51. That brings us to defend the indefensible. Oh, no, sorry. That brings us to defend the flipping difficult. A ridiculous suggestion that you have to defend for 20 seconds, however ludicrous it is. Barry, as the victor, would you like to go first or second?
To defend how ridiculous it is.
You have to defend the I'll make a statement, you have to defend it.
Okay.
Whatever it is.
Okay.
Would you like to go first or second? Go second.
Go second.
We'll start with Bob. Bob.
Let's go.
I always have a bit of a laugh when another 1966 hero is forced to sell his medal.
Do you know what? This is the thing. They have to sell their medals now, and I think fair enough. And not only should they sell them, I think they should sell them to a charity, and the people who should benefit from that charity are the people who've been sitting ever since having to listen to, yeah, but we won the World Cup in 1966, okay? Because our lives have been made a misery. That's what you did.
Barry, are you aware how this is going to work?
Yeah.
I think you've got a 50-50 chance here. It's a good one. Okay, so we're going to give you a preposterous statement. Whatever it is, you have to defend it. Here we go. Gordon Banks can never be considered a world-class goalkeeper, as he was never the face of an anti-dandruff shampoo.
I think that Gordon Banks, you have to say that it wasn't something that concerned him. He never wore a cap like most goalkeepers, and it may be that he just played the role, didn't want to be involved in that way. Speaking as a man who lost his hair at a fairly early time of his life, I feel that I would be very much on Gordon Banks' side. I wouldn't want to know anything.
I think giving that question to a man with no hair was a little unfair. I'm going to give the victory to Bob Mills, but you've all been excellent. It's been lovely to take a step back to 1966. Many thanks to everyone. A huge day of 1966 celebrations on the BBC, and we track the final minute by minute this afternoon, followed by the phone-in 606 66 at 5:30, and Mikingham with more reflections at 7 o'clock. Cheerio, panel. Cheerio, listeners.
Cheerio.
Fighting Talk is a World End production for BBC 5 Live.